Pampa, Ponna and Ranna, the celebrated trio of great poets, who made striking contributions to Kannada literature, wrote biographies. But the heroes of their works are either religious heads or mythological figures. Even the secular theme wears a mythological garb. Pampa was most eminent among the Kannada poets, and for this reason he is known in Kannada literature as Adikavi, or pioneer poet. His Vikramarjuna Vijaya is indeed Arikesari Vijaya. It contains the poet's version of a section of the story of the Mahabharata and hence called Pampa Bharata. Pampa makes Arjun the hero and identifies Arikesari too, his patron and the Rashtrakuta feudatory of Vemulavada, with Arjuna. In the beginning of the work the poet gives the genealogy of Arikesari. Pampa gives certain details regarding the northern campaigns of Indra III in which Arikesari also took part. He also spotlights on the contemporary society. He notices the existence of the caste system, but disapproves its rigidity. Though a Jaina, he looks with favor the Brahmanical sacrifices. Women were honored and respected by society. He refers to the institution of Garnikas. But the city prostitutes are condemned by Arikesari, who also ridicules those people who succumb to their vials. The work contains interesting details on contemporary secular history. The tradition of Pampa was continued by Ranna, also a Jaina, who enjoyed the title of Kavachakravarti or poet laureate. He was the court poet of the Kalyana Chalukya king Satyasaya Irivabedanga, 997-1088. His Gadhayada or Sahasa Bhima Vijaya has as its theme an episode from the Mahabharata about the last fight with clubs, Gada, between Bhima and Duryodhana. The poet identifies Bhima with Satyasaya and gives him the title Sahasa Bhima, daring Bhima. Ranna mentions the wars and achievements of Satyasaya as also the genealogy of the Chalukyas. The work throws higher light on contemporary social life. Chavandaraya Purana of Chavandaraya contains useful information about the Gangas of Talakad. The Virasaiva movement, inspired and organized by Basava in the 12th century, left its deep impress on religion, social life and literature of the period. The Vachanas composed by Basava and later by his followers yield much information regarding a new philosophy of life and religion. The evidence of Keladinripa Vijaya, Kamara Ramanakath, Bharatsavi Vava, and a great number of Bakars and Kaifiats furnish much information of value which serves as key to the solution of some problems in Vijayanagara history on which the inscriptions throw little or no light. Chikkadevaraya Vamsavali of Tirumalariya and Chikkadevaraya Vijaya are important to reconstruct the history of the Wodyars of Mysore. But the most noteworthy is Kantharava Narasaraja Vijaya by Govinda Vaidya, 1648. It is a historical biography in the true sense of the term. The theme of the work relates to the Karnataka campaign of Ranadula Khan, the commander-in-chief of the Bijapur army, and his ultimate defeat at the hands of Narasaraja. The author gives an admirable account of the war camp of the enemy, the attire of the soldiers, and weapons of warfare. The war preparations of the Karnataka king, the bravery of his soldiers, and the guerrilla tactics they employed have been discussed at length. The importance of this work for any reconstruction of the social life of the time is necessarily much higher. The author tells us that the city of Srirangapatna was a planned one and each caste lived in the separate quarter. He then describes the market street, palace, the daily life of the king and courtiers, the dress of the people of different regions, and their manners and customs. The only blemish in an otherwise truly historical work is the investment of divine element in the birth of Narasaraja. Telugu. Telugu literature has become one of the principal sources of Vijayanagara history. Tikkana is the first Telugu poet to trace the history of his patron's family. Vallabharaya's Kridabharamam gives interesting information on Bukka I and Harihara II. Tikkana refers to the activities of Devaraya I in his Vikramanka Charita. Srinatha, who was honored by Devaraya II with the title of Emperor of Poets, describes the life of the people at large and the court life. Manucharitamu of Pedana, Parijatapaharanamu of Nandi Timana and Krishnadevaraya Vijayamu of Kamara Durjati contain valuable historical information. A Muktamaliyada written by Emperor Krishna Devaraya is a treatise on statecraft. It is true that most of the literary sources may not directly contribute to history, but they indirectly help the historian interested in the study of literatures. They also aid the historian to picture the social and religious milieu in which the characters of history lived and moved and acted. Some works yield valuable data regarding the genealogy, personal accomplishments and achievements of the rulers which are sometimes corroborated by the inscriptional evidence.